There comes a moment in your life when everything that once felt important suddenly starts to feel meaningless, and it's not because life has lost its value, but because your perspective has changed in a way you can't reverse. The noise doesn't hit the same, the distractions don't pull you in like they used to, and the things that once entertained you now feel shallow, almost like you've outgrown an entire way of living without realizing when it happened. At first, this shift can feel confusing because nothing around you has really changed, yet everything feels different. The same conversations, the same environments, the same patterns are still there, but you don't engage with them the same way anymore, and that disconnect can make you question yourself. You might wonder if you have become distant, or if something is missing, or if you've somehow lost interest in life itself, but that's not what's happening. You are not losing interest in life. You're losing interest in the surface. There was a time when surface-level things were enough, when quick entertainment, external validation, and temporary excitement felt fulfilling. You might have been drawn to what looked good, what sounded impressive, or what gave you immediate satisfaction, and that's completely normal, because at one point that level of awareness matched where you were in your journey. But growth changes your lens. Now, you don't just see what's in front of you, you see through it. You notice what's real and what's performative, what has depth and what is simply noise. And once you start seeing that clearly, it becomes impossible to ignore. Conversations that once felt engaging now feel repetitive and empty. Environments that once energized you now leave you drained, and situations that once mattered now feel insignificant. And this is where things start to shift internally, because awareness creates distance. It separates you from what no longer aligns, and that separation can feel like loneliness if you don't understand what's happening. You may find yourself pulling back, speaking less, observing more, and choosing not to engage in things that once felt normal. But this isn't isolation, it's discernment. You're learning that your attention is valuable, and where you place it shapes your reality. When you're constantly distracted by surface-level things, your energy becomes scattered, pulled into directions that don't actually serve you. But when you begin to withdraw from that noise, something powerful happens. You regain control over your focus, your thoughts, and your time. And with that control comes clarity. You start craving depth instead of distraction, meaning instead of noise, and intention instead of impulse. You become more selective about the conversations you entertain, the environments you step into, and the energy you allow into your space. And that selectiveness begins to reshape your life in ways that are subtle but significant. You may notice that you spend more time alone, not because you have no options, but because you're no longer willing to trade your peace for temporary stimulation. You may find that your circle becomes smaller, your habits become more intentional, and your priorities shift towards things that actually contribute to your growth rather than just filling your time. And while that can feel uncomfortable at first, it's also where your power begins to build. Because when you're no longer distracted by everything around you, you finally have the space to focus on what's within you. You begin to understand yourself on a deeper level, to recognize your patterns, your thoughts, your desires, and your direction without the constant interference of external noise. This is where real growth happens, and those choices compound. You start saying no to things you once tolerated, you start walking away from things that no longer align, and you start protecting your energy in ways you never did before. And over time, those small decisions create a completely different reality. One that feels more grounded, more intentional, and more aligned with who you are becoming. But this level of awareness also comes with a challenge. Because once you see beyond the surface, you can't go back. You can't unsee the patterns, the distractions, or the lack of depth in certain areas of your life, and that means you have to make conscious decisions moving forward, even when it would be easier to fall back into old habits. It means choosing depth when distraction is more convenient. It means choosing growth when comfort is more familiar. And it means choosing alignment even when it separates you from what you once knew. And that's not always easy, especially in a world that constantly pulls for your attention, constantly offering you quick dopamine, quick validation, and quick escapes from reality. But the fact that those things don't satisfy you anymore is a sign that you're evolving. You're no longer easily entertained. You're intentional. You're no longer reactive. You're aware, and you're no longer distracted. You're focused. This is a different level of living, one where you're not just existing based on what's around you, but consciously choosing how you engage with it. You're not being pulled in every direction, you're deciding your direction, and that changes everything. Because when your attention becomes intentional, your life becomes intentional. The way you think, the way you act, and the way you move all begin to align with a deeper sense of purpose, and that alignment creates a sense of peace that surface-level distractions could never give you. So if you've been feeling different, if you've been noticing that you're less interested in what once consumed you and more drawn to things that actually matter, don't question it and don't try to force yourself back into spaces that no longer feel right. Nothing is wrong with you and nothing is missing from your life. You're just no longer distracted by the surface, and that clarity is guiding you towards something deeper, something more meaningful, and something far more aligned with who you truly are. And if you've made it this far in the video, take a moment to reflect on where your attention has been going and where you want it to go moving forward, because that awareness alone can start to shift everything. If this resonated with you, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay connected for more content like this, because learning to focus on what truly matters might just be the most powerful change you ever make.